and living in a hotel. Now, I know you may be wondering, how the hell did I get here? I got married young at the age of 19 within about 4 months into the relationship. 2 years later into the marriage, we ended up separating because we just had two different lifestyles that we wanted to live and it just wasn't aligning. So during the separation, he definitely blocked me on all social media platforms and he even blocked my phone number. So I had no way to contact him and he ended up moving away from where he used to live at to a whole different state. So I was not able to serve him any divorce papers. I was just a complete mess. So while all still being married and a wife, on paper, I was still out dating and living my life because I wasn't going to let nobody who blocked me on all social media stop me from living my life. If I wanted the divorce and it wasn't happening, I'm still going to live my life and date. So I met this guy on Match who, we got along pretty good, pretty well. And 2 months into the relationship, we decided to move in together and he just accepted me for who I am and all of my baggage, still being married and all. I know y'all want to know what's the tea on how I became a baby mama to my baby's father, who is not my husband. After my separation, I felt so bad for needing to move back in at my mom's house. I wanted to get my own place so bad, but the little money I was making wasn't even enough money to get a studio apartment living in the West Coast. So one day I was scrolling on YouTube and came across this lady named Shera who was teaching women how to find a provider man.
Don't talk to nobody unless they make 6K plus. You don't reach for your wallet for nothing when you in the presence of a man. And you do not go above and beyond for a man. Okay? You let them do all the going above and beyond for you. And you will never have to heal again. Ever. So, y'all stop healing and start getting some standards. Because the more you heal, the faster someone's going to come and break your heart again. And then it's going to have to heal again. And then it's going to get broke again. And then you're going to heal again. But you're going to be more bitter. So it's going to be harder for you to attract anybody. Just have some standards. And I would start dating right away. I wouldn't even care. I wouldn't need no time because I would be right there with somebody way better, getting my money, getting my school paid for, and some new clothes. I'm not trying to sit there and waste my life and, for somebody who I gave my all to. I would never give my all to anybody unless they're my children. And they still ain't getting 100%. Okay? So, no. Get you some standards and go right back out there. Get you some standards. And you will never have to heal again. I promise you. So, don't heal. Get you some standards.
I was interested and took her advice and started using her advice in real life. That's when I met my baby father on an app called Match. Not only did we get along, but he was a provider. I just knew I did not want to work a 9-to-5 or pay bills. So meeting my baby father on Match was a perfect opportunity for me to move out of my mom's house. I became so comfortable in the lifestyle I was living and not having to work or pay bills. Within our first year of living together, we planned to have our first child. After conception and during my pregnancy, I realized how controlling of a man he really was. He would be so strict with me, telling me what I could and could not eat, and on top of that, we were already vegan. During my 4th month of pregnancy, we started to have a lot of disagreements and just different perspectives on life. After giving birth to my first child, I took the romance out of the relationship. We immediately became platonic.
Hey cousins, welcome back to my channel. Make sure you like and comment. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Make sure you have your notification bell on so you're notified every single time I post. As you can see from the clip, we are about to get into another Mama Shera 7 person who tried it and it didn't work. Okay. Getting married at 19 after knowing a man for only 4 months, sometimes it works. I'm not even going to fault her. Sometimes it works, but that sometimes is very, very, very rare. The dating scene is nothing like when our parents and our grandparents was growing up and dating. It's nothing like that. So we have to be very careful when we are introducing ourselves to these men and just getting married and speaking from experience and just doing things all willy-nilly just because you feel like you really love this person and you really want to be with this person. Sometimes we have to listen to what we call discernment. We have to listen to our intuition, and we have to really figure out if this person aligns with who I am as a woman, who I want to be as a woman. And sometimes you can figure that out within the first 30 days. Let's be honest. Sometimes the red flags are flagging, but we really want to be with this person. So we decide, hey, why not? Let's try it. Let's get married. Let's do this. Let's do that. And I'm pretty sure she has learned her lesson. It's very unfortunate that the husband did not want to give her a divorce. Normally, I do not agree with people, even if you are going through a divorce or you are separated dating. I don't agree with that. But in this situation, the man is literally nowhere to be found. So there's really nothing she can do if he doesn't even want to sign the papers, and she doesn't even know where to find him. I'm pretty sure if she finds a lawyer, the lawyer can definitely make it happen. The crazy part to me is that she went through that with her husband, well, ex-husband technically, and then she met another guy, and then within 2 months they were already moving in together. And I feel like if you're listening to Shera always says, do not be desperate. And that was kind of desperate, and it's literally because she said that she didn't have enough money, she didn't want to be in her mom's house, so it was just a means to an end being with that guy, and he seemed nice on paper. So she's like, hey, why not? Let's just give it a try. But I just don't understand it. Like, I really don't understand it. She just went through something similar, and then you went 2 months later. Well, not 2 months later, but you started dating, and then 2 months later, you moved in with somebody that you really don't know. And cousins, I take it back. She did not learn her lesson.
So let's talk about y'all most boiling desires. How the hell did I get to this stage of my life living in a hotel? So during my pregnancy, I was in my 3rd trimester, and I noticed my baby father started being more frugal with his finances. We eventually stopped going out and having time of leisure. I started wondering if he got laid off from working. So I asked him if there was anything he would like me to know. He insisted on telling me that everything was fine and not to worry about anything because he'll handle it. So I said, okay, cool. A week goes by and my baby father asked me if I knew of anyone that I could ask to borrow money from and he'll pay them back. The look on my face was stunned, shocked, and disappointed all at the same time. I responded and said, tell me what's going on, and I mean tell me everything. He looked at me with immense sadness. Then he paused and said, the IRS took money out of his account. I looked at him in disbelief. I said, what do you mean the IRS took money out of your account? He said that they took money out of all of his accounts and they wiped everything clean from his checking and savings account.
Cousins, unpack your thoughts in the comments. Do you really believe that the IRS came and took all his money? Can they do that? Just come and take all your money from your checking and your savings if you owe them? I know Uncle Sam don't play about his money, but baby, is that possible? Like, really? Is that really how they do it?
Because if I'm being honest, I feel like he kind of made that up. And that was just his out because he realized he no longer wanted to be with her. And he knew she was with him for his money. So it was just a means to an end to let her know, like, hey, I can't afford you anymore. Or I can't afford whatever lifestyle I've been giving you this whole time. And that's why it's very important to make sure you know who you are actually with. And just because a man looks like he has money, because if you guys were only together for 2 months, then moved in together, and then you got pregnant, he didn't have that much money, baby. But by the time before your baby came, he was already crying broke. He didn't have that as much money as he was portraying in the beginning. Shera, this is not what Shera said to do. Like, this is not. Unpack your thoughts in the comments. What would you do in this situation? Do you believe that the IRS really took his money? Do you feel bad for this young lady? Because now she has a baby in this situation, and she's saying she's a wife to her baby daddy. So I don't know if they're still together, but if you guys are platonic, then it's really not a relationship. They are just together just because, like, this is a mess. Unpack your thoughts in the comments. Let me know how you feel about this. Bye.
After hearing that information, I went into a deep sadness and depression. I couldn't believe that my life has also flipped upside down so fast. And for those of y'all asking if we still live together, yeah, we do, and it's completely platonic. That's when I went from living a life of comfort and leisure to living in a hotel in the blink of an eye. After finding out that my baby father went from riches to rags in a blink of an eye, this is when my life of leisure and comfort has come to an end. We moved out of the home we were living in because my baby father couldn't afford for us to stay there anymore. So we had to sell a lot of our clothes and material items just to be able to pack light because we started staying in Airbnbs. I was so depressed at this stage in my life that I didn't know what to do. So our life began to spiral even more downhill. So we started staying in hotels because the price to pay for a hotel was way cheaper than the Airbnb. So a couple years went by. Eventually staying in hotels was too much of a financial burden to keep up with. So we made a decision to move from the West Coast living in the city to move to the East Coast on the countryside of town, just to live in another another hotel that was cheaper than living on the West Coast. So because we couldn't afford a flight out to the East Coast with all of our stuff, we had to downsize all of our belongings by selling and donating even more stuff just to pack up the car to drive out here. We ended up driving over 8 states across the country with our daughter just to get to where I am today.